JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 3rd of January, so you have 2023. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this first Tuesday of this new year. So yep, I hope you had a great celebration. As always guys, these sessions we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have a look at the instruments, the different asset classes. Before we do that, before we go there, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So guys, let's start. The first one I want to pick up here is Shanghai Composite, because Nikkei is still closed today, but yeah, still okay. Look, Shanghai Composite doing the good move here, pushing through this downside line and breaking this barrier, the 3,100 level. I talked about it. And I said that if we do break this area, I will go to the upside, especially if it also climbs above that 21-day EMA. But of course, that already kind of happened automatically, because after breaking the 3,100 level, we broke the downside line, which kind of pushed the index above that 21-day EMA. So that's what I said then, that I'm going to aim for that 100-day EMA first. And then if that gets cleared, then I'm going to aim for that 200-day EMA. Now, the only issue here is that, look, let's say if we do have this as a possible head and shoulders pattern, then, well, a holdup might occur. And let me just grab a line here. I think I'll grab a new one because I need the rest of the other lines. So a holdup might occur somewhere around here, maybe even near this 100-day EMA. So look, keep that in mind. For now, I would say it's quite interesting what's going to happen here. I'm really curious myself, because on one hand, I'm kind of looking at this one and potentially kind of aiming for higher levels. On the other hand, the reason why I'm aiming higher is because we broke the downside line. On the other hand, we might be forming something of a head and shoulders pattern, quite a beautiful one, to be honest. But again, will that be the case? It's a bit of a tricky one here, because both scenarios are kind of possible here, and quite strong, I would say, because like I said, on one hand we are breaking this this downside line right now. Can we go higher? Well, it will depend if we can clear this whole resistance area right there. And the resistance area that I'm talking about is the 100-day EMA initially, and then this 3,145 level. If we clear that, then yes, I'll aim for the 200-day EMA. But if we don't, well, I could consider like I said, a nice head and shoulders pattern later on. The German index, DAX. Look, we had a good run yesterday, kind of ish. We pushed to the upside. We tested the 21-day EMA, but still, I think that I cannot really do here much, because I said to you previously, and I kept on talking about this for, well, last year, that until I get a clear break above the 14,200 territory, I'm not going to consider any upside. And for the downside, until I'm going to get a break of the 13,791 territory, somewhere around here, which is the lowest point of December, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the downside. So keep that in mind. Now, NASDAQ 100. So NASDAQ, of course, it didn't trade yesterday. The first trading day will be today, but it could be quite interesting. I mean, I would say, looking at the picture here, I mean, there is potential for some upside. However, I would prefer actually to, first of all, to see a push above the psychological 11,000 mark, because then I will aim for that 21-day EMA. But this is my problem here, is that if this 21-day EMA provides resistance, another decline here could be possible, and something like this could be possible and could be quite realistic. Now, if we do break the 21-day EMA, that of course creates more positive, look, and we could go a little bit to the upside. However, I would become more comfortable with the upside only from around here, from around this 11,450 zone right there. But yeah, at the moment, like I said, guys, I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards the upside a little bit, but I need that push above that psychological 11,000 mark. By the way, the cash index. Let's have a look at the cash index, where we are right now. Yeah, so we are near that psychological 11,000 mark, just kind of trading slightly below it. So let's see if we can clear it, if we can break it, and if we can go a little bit more to the upside. But yeah, that's the game plan, guys, for now, unfortunately. S&P 500, so similar story. Look, I'm kind of leaning maybe a little bit more towards the upside here initially, but again, we do have some important areas of resistance which could play out. So this 21-day EMA could be an interesting target, and if we do hold below it, then, well, another decline here could be possible, so keep that in mind. In terms of the let's say, higher levels here, I think that I would take a very cautious approach and wait for a pop above the 3,912 territory, somewhere around here, this highlighted zone, this lower highlighted zone, and if we clear that, then yes, I will go a little bit more to the upside, especially if we do also climb above that 100-day EMA. So now then, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Look, this one's also quite interesting. With this one, I will be leaning a little bit more towards the upside if we do push above the 33,419 territory, somewhere around here. It acted as a good area of support and then resistance. So yeah, if we clear it, I will get a little bit more excited with higher levels. Now, in terms of the downside, now this is where the interesting bit comes in. Look, previously I talked about this downside line, which, okay, don't get me wrong, it's very, very tentative because it's not really, capturing some lines here, or some peaks, not lines, but peaks. But kind of either way, I mean, it's still, hanging above it. I mean, the index is hanging above that line, so kind of in a way respecting it, but don't really rely on it too much. I think mainly rely on these two EMAs right here, the 100 and the 200-day EMAs, shown as the green and black lines respectively. And if we clear those, we might also clear this key support zone near the 32,573. If we clear that, then yes, we could go lower. So this is going to be my level for the downside, this area actually, not exactly the specific level, but the area around here. If we clear it, then yes, I will go lower. Now, DXY, the dollar index. So this one's quite interesting as well, because look, we had a nice hold up here near the 103.45. I talked about that level, and today we're seeing a bit of a rebound, which is fine, but I'm still keeping an eye on it, close eye on it, because if we clear it, guys, I mean, this could, end up moving further south towards the lower side of this this falling channel. Again, don't get me wrong, I talked about the scenarios of a breakout here to the upside, which is still possible, but again, I will just be clear as possible, saying that, hey, a breakout is needed, and I think now we can actually start looking at slightly lower levels, like for example around here. So this 104.55 territory could be an interesting target if we clear this downside, the upper side of the falling channel, and if we clear this barrier, the 104.55, and if we clear this 21-day EMA as well. Now that's where, yep, it could become quite interesting, and we could go higher. We could go initially towards the 200-day EMA and then the 100-day EMA. So that's going to be my simple approach to DXY. Which could be quite interesting, like I said, but let's wait for that confirmation break here, guys. So as I said before, for the downside, I need to see a drop below the 103.45 level. For the upside, the 104.55, that's what I'm looking at. And in both scenarios, what I need is not only just a breakout, but I would like to see the body of the daily candles kind of staying either above this barrier or below this hurdle. And then, yeah, I'll get a little bit more excited because, again, you need to always remember that false breakouts do occur. Gold, guys, gold, looking at this beautiful move. Okay, with gold, I will have to do some readjustments just to kind of to bring it back to more to reality. Because look, if you remember, I talked about this rising channel here pattern, and I said that, hey, you know, I'm gonna look at some higher levels if we do push above this 1833 territory, and we did move nicely. We broke out above this 1833. We moved higher. Look, good result. If you've captured a nice move here, that's wonderful. Now the only thing is that I think I need to redraw this a little bit. Now again, I have to stress everything what I'm saying. All these lines, all these formations, they're actually very subjective. It's not really exactly, this is kind of what I see. Maybe you see it differently, so you always have to kind of, you know, approach it from that perspective. Because if you're seeing it like, you know, if you think that actually, oh yes, I mean, this is what it's forming, no, this is what's something that you might be seeing only. So, or you and some other people, but actually somebody else sees something different. So look, that's why I'm just giving you my perspective. I mean, you guys, you know yourselves better, and you do what you are comfortable to do. And look, here, for example, this is where I always kind of adjust things and trying to find some sort of logic. Look, this one, I think that if we start drawing, let's say, this rising channel this way, then we'll see that we are still within the rising channel. However, then we don't have something, you know, very attractive around here on the bottom. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a tricky moment here where, you know, you're trying to find something, you're trying to find some sort of logic, but it starts, you know, falling apart. So let's say if I draw something like this, maybe, let me just put this on the chart. So there we go. So look, if you draw it this way, then we'll see that we are hitting the upper side of the rising channel. And at the same time, one thing that is for sure it's staying the same is the potential idea of a rising wedge. Now, if that's the case, guys, I mean, well, we could expect maybe this one, you know, falling off the cliff later on, but not at the moment. At the moment, look, I mean, I'll put it this way. This is kind of my readjusted rising channel, and if we continue to clear this upper side here, and we continue to trade, let's say, above this 1833 territory, I will still continue aiming for the upside, maybe even, you know, a break of this upper side of the rising channel, and then maybe a push towards that 1879 territory somewhere around here. Again, like I said, this rising channel, it's a good kind of method to try to gauge, you know, your levels here in general, kind of to understand where, you know, roughly it could go. And look, after a break of this, one thing that for sure that worked out is the 1833, because I said that if we pop above it, I'll go higher. And as you can see, we're currently finding kind of resistance near this upper side of this redrawn rising channel. So now the question, can we see a further move? Well, I would try to simplify this and say that, hey, if as long as we stay above this 1833 territory, I will aim higher. If we suddenly start falling back below this area, and let's say, for example, if we do fall today, then we'll get ourselves a nice, beautiful false breakout. And what does that mean? Then I will start evaluating this potential idea of a rising wedge, which maybe could work out. But again, it's all subjective. It's all just kind of, how we try to view the market, trying to see some sort of logic. But as we know, unfortunately, the markets sometimes are a little bit unlogical, and especially during these kind of, let's say, first weeks of the year, and like when we have something like that, then yes, this is where sometimes you have these drastic moves after the new year, and the market participants are just kind of somebody doesn't know where to go, and then they just start, everybody's just, let's say there is a big player that comes in and starts buying or selling, and everybody starts jumping on a bandwagon until they figure out that, hey, maybe that's a little bit unlogical, let's adjust the market, and this is where the whole trading starts, normal trading starts. So be careful, let's say, with weeks like this, that's for sure. Also, of course, keep your eyes on the economic calendar. Just to kind of let you know, today, of course, the Asia is closed, but China, well, Asia is closed, and New Zealand and Japan are closed. Australia, China, yep, they opened up. And yeah, I would say at the moment the economic calendar looks quite interesting from the European perspective, not from the US perspective. Okay, we have the manufacturing PMI in the US, but I think that the main action will start coming in tomorrow in the US. When we will receive the ISM manufacturing numbers, and of course the ISM manufacturing numbers, and the FOMC meeting minutes. So, long story short, looking at gold, guys, I mean, it could be quite interesting. Let's see how it's going to play out near this upper side of the this rising channel. But yeah, if it holds, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible, but as long as it stays above this 1833 territory, I will overall continue aiming higher. If we start falling back below this 1833, then I will consider maybe a bit of a move to the downside. Now, WTI oil, looking at this picture here, okay, look, I said it before, you know what, I'm not going to do anything here anymore. I'm not going to say anything much, not to just kind of confuse everybody, but just I'm going to stick to the same rule for me for now. Roughly 82 territory, that's what I'm going to keep an eye on. This is from where I would get a little bit more excited with the upside. However, this 81.1415 territory, marked by the high of December, the high of last week. There we go. So a push above that barrier may attract more buyers. We could see a push towards that 82, and if we clear that one, then yes, slowly we could go and grind higher towards the, because my main targets are the 100 and the 200-day EMAs. For the downside, I would like to see a drop somewhere below the 76.83 in order to consider maybe a bit of a retracement to the downside. Litecoin, okay, this is honestly becoming one of my favorite cryptos right now because it moves, it does something, it is alive, it is exciting. Of course, I'm not really promoting this because, look, I mean, this is like whatever you like, whatever you like. But the thing is, I like when something moves, and this one somehow moves, so at least it's quite interesting. At least it's behaving a little bit more like a currency, not like an asset. So yeah, look, at the moment everything's working out beautifully. Yesterday I talked about it and I said that if we pop above this barrier right here, the 71.65, great, we could go higher towards that 73.30. If we clear that, we could go further north. Well, we did all that, so that's great. Now the question here is, can it maintain that spur, and can it remain, pushing higher? Can it continue pushing higher? At the moment, I would say this way: as long as we stay, let me just probably highlight this level. As long as we stay above this 73.30. I will stick to the upside. If we fall back below it, yep, this is where I'll take a bit of a cautious approach. But if we start breaking this upside line here, now that's where it could become a little bit interesting for a few more sellers, and we could see more of them coming in. So keep that in mind. AUD/JPY, talking about currencies, continues to do the beautiful move here. Look, I talked about it. I said that, hey, if we're going to get a hold up here below this 90.85, then we could see a nice decline. And so far, it's doing the job. So look, I mean, I talked about it, and so far, yes, it's working out. Now, I said before that my next target is the 87.30, somewhere around here, or maybe even that 87 territory itself. Who knows? But this is what I'm aiming for. Look, I mean, at the moment, everything seems to be logical unless we start finding support somewhere around here, just, before these two levels. And if that's the case, then, we could see a nice rebound or something like that, like a double bottom here. But look, at the moment, let's keep it short and simple. If you've missed the move here, this move to the downside, I would say probably leave it. Don't try to chase the market, because let's say if it already kind of declined a little bit, so look, it could still have the juice, to continue pushing further south. But hey, if it finds support somewhere around here, that would be a little bit disappointing, and we could see a bit of a retracement here, a move back to the upside. So long story short, guys, at the moment, I would say yes, overall, I'm still aiming for this area, for this 87.30, but in a way, we could see maybe a hold up here, maybe a little rebound, and then a push back down. So just kind of keep that in mind. Or we could go straight away to the downside. So that's why I rather wait until we see maybe a test of this area and then do something about it, if, let's say, I would be looking at it from now on. AUD/USD, guys, this one's interesting. So it continues to get held by the 200-day EMA and near this 0.6814. I wouldn't say that this is, a very correct, beautiful level here. No, I think it's more of an area that we need to keep an eye on. So let me just grab one of the lines. I'll recycle this. Always recycle, guys. This area between the 0.6814, 20, something like that, that's something that I'm keeping a close eye on. If we pop above it, yes, I will go to the upside. But if we, but for the downside, what I want to see here is a drop somewhere below this 21-day, 100-day EMAs, and then yeah, we could go towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of October. USD/JPY, very quickly on this one, and yeah, this one is looking quite interesting. I would say it's working out, because what I was talking about, I said that if we do drop below the 130.40, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could see a further move south. Now, so far it's working out. We're still below this hurdle. If we continue to trade below this hurdle, I will aim for that 126.36 level, and then we'll take it from there. GBP/NZD, here we can see a picture where we're getting a nice rebound from this 1.8958, so that's great. Look, I talked about this yesterday. I said that in order for me to go lower, I need to see a drop below this hurdle. Well, we're not getting that. We're getting a rebound, so that's all fine, because we're still within this falling channel. So look, the downside scenario is still not off the table, but if we start breaking the upper side of this falling channel, guys, this is where I'm going to start looking at a little bit more to the upside. GBP/JPY, beautiful move. Fantastic, I would say. Look, yesterday I talked about this, and I said that if we do stay below this 158.60, then yes, further declines are possible, and especially my next target will be this 157.22, which we managed to reach perfectly, and then we cleared it. And if we continue to trade below it today, then yes, I will continue aiming towards the this level right here, the 152.57, and then we'll take it from there. GBP/USD, guys. GBP/USD, flat, but interesting. Look, after we broke the rising veg, my rising veg here, which I was very obsessed with. So we broke the lower side. I mean, we kind of moved a little bit lower, but not significantly. I think I'm going to blame the whole holiday period. I think if it would have been a normal trading, month, let's say, just without any celebrations or anything like that, I think we could see a nice drop here lower. But hey, could have, should have, would have. So whatever didn't happen, so it didn't happen. Anyway. What I'm going to do here is right now is, look, I previously for the down, I'm still kind of considering the downside, don't get me wrong, but I need some confirmation breaks. Now, previously I talked about the 1.1958, but I think I will raise it a little bit, and I'm going to mark this. The 1.1993, or in general, what you can do here is keep your eyes on that psychological 120 level, which could be quite attractive. So basically, a drop below the psychological 120 territory could do the trick for a few more sellers, and we could see a move first of all towards the 100-day EMA. If we clear that, then we could go further south, and I think that this arrow has to be a little bit more modest, not aiming that much to the downside. I think that we should aim for the area somewhere around here, the 1.1646, roughly around here, guys. Good potential area of support, because previously I acted as a resistance and support as well. So I'm going to aim for this area if we do fall below the psychological 120 territory. EURUSD, just a quick update. Look, I talked about this. Yesterday in my morning video. I said that, hey, I don't look at this one very often, but we were near this key support zone at 1.5686. I said that, hey, if we continue to trade above it, then we could see a rebound here, a push higher. But if we start falling below it, we have this upside line as the kind of last resort. If we do rebound from it, then yes, great. I will consider a move back to the upside. But if we struggle, if we eventually break this this upside line, well, guess what? This could open the door towards some lower levels, and we could target the area around the 1.5445, or even lower, aiming for that 100 and the 200-day EMAs. Now, EURUSD, guys, this one's still stuck, I would say. Look, I think that could be quite interesting. Yes, I mean, it could be eventually something that, if we break this 1.0736 territory, we could go higher. But I think that at this point, it's better to wait. Look, we do have some good data coming out this week. So if it doesn't do anything today, don't get disappointed. We still have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with the NFPs. So yeah, keep your eyes on that, and maybe we could see that pop to the upside here. But if we don't, well, there's always the downside. But for that, guys, I need to see a break somewhere below this 1.0576 and below this lower side of the rising channel. So keep that in mind. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, your comments, everything. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much for your support in general. So if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, have a beautiful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.